What's going on, guys? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. Coming up in just around the corner, Darren Wolfson said there's still very real interest in quarterback Jayden Daniels. And then he said, but I'm just saying, don't sleep on Jayden Daniels. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to start today's show off by asking you guys a question. Pick a quarterback for me. For the Minnesota Vikings next season, who would you like them to draft? Drake Maye, give me a DM. JJ McCarthy, give me a JJ. And then if you want the LSU quarterback, the Heisman winner, give me a JD down in the comments section. What's going on, guys? My name is Patrick Siepman. Welcome into today's show. So the Minnesota Vikings apparently have some real interest in Jayden Daniels. This is coming in from Darren Wolfson. He was on SKOL North the other day, just chopping it up with the guys over there. And this is what he's had to say. He says, of the three, Drake Maye, Jayden Daniels, and JJ McCarthy, my sense is the Vikings have pretty strong, good opinions on all three. Now, I'd understand it if Maye is the clear-cut number one of these three. However, he carried on to say, but I'm telling you, there's been very little Jayden Daniels chatter, and I guess I don't get it. Like, I'm not sitting here dismissing the possibility of Daniels ultimately being the guy here. That's what I'm saying. And, you know, this is definitely new information because all the reports we have gotten from Vikings front office members, from the Vikings brass, you know, we have heard that they are all in on the North Carolina quarterback, Drake Maye. And then if they can't land him, they view J.J. McCarthy as a great second option for this football team. But I think Jayden Daniels would be a great choice as well. Let's take a look at his last 2 years with the LSU Tigers. And the thing I want you guys to pay attention to the most here is his progression from 2022 to 2023. And this is my main reason why I really like this cat from LSU, is because it just kind of speaks to his work ethic. His completion percentage going up by just more than 3%. Passing yards just over 900. The touchdown to interception ratio this past season was 40-4. Big reason why he won the Heisman. Yards per attempt skyrocketed up by 4.2. And then the dual threat ability with Daniels. He's a really smooth runner. He doesn't have that elite burst that I think Lamar Jackson does, but he's more of a crafty runner. I think he's got great elusiveness in his game. I mean, he almost ran for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in college. But he's also a big-time thrower. And this is a stat from PFF. It's big-time throw percentage. And this is how he ranks amongst all the other quarterbacks in this year's draft class. He was 8.4% of his throws were big-time throws. Maye was at 7.5. Penix at 7.3. Then you see Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, and Bo Nix all following behind him. But, guys, I got to be honest here. I've had a tough time evaluating Daniels in comparison to Maye or McCarthy because I think I have a really good understanding on who, you know, Drake Maye and J.J. McCarthy are. I think J.J. McCarthy's going to be that, you know, I don't want to say game manager type of quarterback, but that more of like fit in the box guy where he can really take an offense to the next level, but he's going to play within the offense. Then I think Drake Maye, if he ends up working out, you legitimately have a guy like Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. But when I'm watching Jayden Daniels, like a lot of his throws this season, we're just chucking it up to these two guys, Malik Nabers and Brian Thomas Jr., which both these guys could possibly go in the top 20 of this year's draft. I mean, Nabers is going to be no doubt a top 10 pick. So I've had a tough time really scouting Jayden Daniels and getting a true, like, great scouting report on him. But this is what I have so far. So my Daniels scouting report as it stands right now. Biggest pro for him is elite mobility. And like I said, he's not like that kind of over-the-top burner in Lamar Jackson. He's more of that kind of elusive runner. He's going to make men miss, and he's going to use his kind of shake and bake ability on the second level once he does get there. So he's a very mobile quarterback, and I think that would almost give him a floor in the NFL where his legs are going to be top 10 in the NFL, so it's going to kind of give him more time to develop the passing part of his game. But a con he has. He's a skinny dude, man. He needs to definitely add on more weight. He's 6'4". He's kind of like this long, like, bean pole type of athlete. Like, he's definitely going to need to add more weight on his frame, but, you know, I think that's something with an NFL weight training program. I'm not really too concerned about it, but definitely injuries play a factor into that. And this is my favorite pro about him, is his pocket presence and toughness. You know, I always give credit to Kirk Cousins over the past couple of seasons, his ability to sit there in the pocket and take a direct hit from a quarterback when he's getting popped in the mouth. Jayden Daniels did that countless times this past season, and he's overall got really good feet. Anytime, you know, he had a free rusher in his face, I've noticed he was able to make that man miss, or he's able to kind of buy himself an extra second in the pocket. And even when he was getting hit, he was able to complete a throw without getting thrown off target or thrown off track. So definitely another big pro for him. But a con I also have for Jayden Daniels, he doesn't have the most velocity on his throws. And I don't think that's the biggest issue in the world, but hey, windows close a lot faster in the NFL. So especially if you're trying to throw over the middle and it's a linebacker and corner kind of closing on that window, you're going to need a little more extra zip, where guys like J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, they got that more of a, high velocity on their throws. So, but then again, maybe these two could be connected. He adds more weight onto his frame. Maybe he could add more velocity onto his throws as well. But another big pro for Jayden Daniels, man, the deep ball accuracy. I mean, yes, this was, him throwing it up to, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., but, he put the ball on the money countless times for the LSU Tigers, and I just couldn't even imagine if him in this Vikings offense, with him throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson, those plays would be special, man. And, I think he's definitely got some, glaring cons and glaring pros to his game. But again, a guy like Kevin O'Connell can really sandpaper his game. But I want to get you guys involved on today's video. I already asked you to pick a quarterback for me, but specifically on Jayden Daniels, let me know your NFL comparison for him down below in the comments section. I'll give you guys mine here in a second, but let me know, who is your NFL comparison on Jayden Daniels? If I had to give my ceiling comparison for Jayden Daniels, it would be a guy like Lamar Jackson. But if I also had to give my floor comparison for Jayden Daniels, it would probably be a guy like Tyrod Taylor, who's a solid backup in the NFL. Now, listen, I'm not saying he is for sure going to be Lamar Jackson. I think that is his max potential in this league. But a floor for him is a solid backup. And obviously, you're not going to want to take a solid backup, top 5 in the NFL draft, but just watching their play styles, he does remind me of a Tyrod, and he does remind me of Lamar Jackson. But coming up here in just a second, we got more scouting on Jayden Daniels. Bleacher Report, their scouting team over there, they did a great job just kind of breaking down his game, and I want to share some quotes from them here in a second. But guys, the new man in town, Aaron Jones, we got his jerseys for you guys. If you guys had the chatsports.com/Vikings jersey, I think this is going to be a hot jersey to wear at US Bank Stadium this upcoming year. It's not going to come in 00. It will have the correct number on there. So if you guys want to get hooked up with your Aaron Jones jersey today, link for that is in the comment section and description of today's show right there, chatsports.com/Vikings jersey. All right, let's break down Jayden Daniels a little bit more in depth here. We got some advanced stats coming to you guys' way here in a second, but this is what Bleacher Report, their scouting department, wrote up about the Heisman quarterback. He says Daniels' arm talent and accuracy is a mixed bag. On one hand, he's a phenomenal deep thrower in rhythm. He regularly drops it in the bucket without needing his receivers to break stride, which I totally agree with, but they carried on to say, however, Daniels' arm strength and accuracy are less dangerous to other parts of the field. He doesn't always have the velocity to fit tight windows, and his accuracy in the 1 to 20 yard range comes and goes. Daniels' accuracy especially falls off when he's forced to throw out of rhythm or late in the down. And, I want to take the positive spin on this first about his deep ball ability. Could you imagine Jayden Daniels to Justin Jefferson over the top, beating Jair Alexander, whatever snaky little cornerback that the Packers have, guarding number 18? It would be special. Jefferson, we've seen the Vikings throw him a decent amount of 50-50 balls, but I've said this countless times on our watch parties. If Jefferson's got one-on-one, you take the chance and throw him the football, and that LSU connection would be super special with JD throwing the JJ. But I want to go a little deeper here on the Jayden Daniels stats from this past season. So PFF, they do adjusted completion percentage, which incorporates, drops and just, whether he got hit when he was throwing and whatever. And this is the completion percentage, strictly for the quarterback. He was had it 76.9, which is incredible. ADOT, if you guys don't know what that is, that's average depth of target, which is 10.5, which is really, really good. And then, like I said, big time throw rate. This is actually 6th in the country at 8.4. Turnover worthy play percentage, only on 1.6% of all plays for Jayden Daniels. He had a turnover-worthy play. And then also his average time to throw the last season was actually pretty high up there at 2.91 seconds, which is another reason why I am skeptical about Daniels, because he had elite receivers and his O-line was actually pretty freaking solid as well. But let's kick it to more about what Bleacher Report has to say. He says, overall, Daniels has an exciting floor as a prospect. He is a veteran-like presence in the pocket, and he's far and away the best athlete in the class at the position. Daniels' average arm talent and inconsistent accuracy may limit his ceiling, but it's hard to imagine him totally flaming out. They carried on to say Daniels would be best in an offense that leans into his rushing ability and vertical passing, similar to a guy like Kyler Murray or Jalen Hurts. And that gets me to this. That last part about him being an offense that fits his game like a Kyler Murray or a Jalen Hurts is the biggest reason why I do have Jayden Daniels at 4. These quarterback rankings are specifically for the Vikings offense, and I think who will run it the best. Caleb Williams, not going to happen, but he would obviously be number 1. Drake Maye, I think Kevin O'Connell could turn him legitimately into a Justin Herbert. That's why I have him at number 2. And I think J.J. McCarthy, all that dude does is win. And I think in KOC's offense with the play action and the run game involved, like J.J. would really, really thrive. And plus, J.J.'s never had top-end talent on the outside like the Vikings do. But Jayden Daniels, that's why I got him at 4. And, overall gets me to this take with the Vikings going into this year's draft. If the Vikings don't walk away with Maye, McCarthy, or Daniels, something went wrong. Can we just call it like it is? If the Vikings truly don't draft either of those 3 prospects, what were we doing this whole offseason? Because I've said it. I gave Kwesi right now an A- for his offseason. But how does he upgrade that? You go draft a quarterback, one of these 3 guys, I'll give you an A. And then also, once you extend Justin Jefferson, I'll give you an A+. But let's just say draft night rolls around. Vikings can't trade up, and they just take 2 position players at 11 and 23. Yeah, it would be sweet. We'd have adding 2 first-rounders to this roster and creating a absolute unit around Sam Darnold. But I think it would be a disaster if they don't walk away with a franchise quarterback and one of the best quarterback classes we have seen for a while. So the Vikings got to get this done, and it could be the man, Jayden Daniels. But if you guys made it to the end of today's video and watched the full breakdown of the Heisman Trophy winner, just give me a SKOL down in the comment section. Let me see where all the real ones are at. Really appreciate you guys always showing support here on the show. And also, guys, if we get any more news, rumors, or updates around the Vikings trading up in this year's draft class, you guys know I'm going to have a video for you guys as soon as possible. So help us reach 24K on the channel. Hit that sub button today. We'll see you guys next time. SKOL Vikings.